I thought the chances of the SnyderVerse being restored were over, but creative fans have worked out a way to keep the demand going. Hey everyone, welcome back to our movie news. No matter if you hate SnyderVerse fans or love them, you have to admit they do not give up without a fight, and are extremely passionate and creative about the movies they love. A new trend regarding restoring the SnyderVerse has been created, one that at first seemed quite unrealistic and desperate, but I have to admit the more I've thought about it, the more it actually makes sense. The trend is called #SellZSJL to Netflix, but the trend really means to license the SnyderVerse characters to Netflix so that the SnyderVerse can be restored on that streaming service. Now before we get into the logistics of this, I want to say that when I first heard about this, I really thought this was an unrealistic goal, and a last desperate attempt at the SnyderVerse being restored. But the more I've seen of people talking about it and heard the points they've been giving as to why it should go to Netflix, I've really been able to see that it does make quite a lot of sense. I got quite a lot of backlash on Twitter for saying I didn't think it was realistic, and I couldn't understand why. But seeing more and more evidence that indicates that this would be a viable option has made me realize that this could actually happen, and I'm completely for it. So why should the SnyderVerse be restored on Netflix? First of all, the DCU and James Gunn clearly have no interest in using the SnyderVerse storyline or actors, with almost an entire reboot happening. So those characters have been discarded and wouldn't ever be used again by Gunn. So they are completely available to use over on Netflix. Secondly, Warner Bros. Discovery are very open to licensing IPs to other companies, and this is coming from directly David Zaslav himself. DC Animation has already had a deal with Amazon to work on their streaming platform, and with the SnyderVerse characters not being used at all, Discovery could very easily license them to Netflix for a large fee. Zack Snyder also has an incredible relationship with Netflix, as he is working with the streaming service to create Rebel Moon and to finish his Army of the Dead franchise. Netflix are said to be very happy with him and believe he will be successful with them, with spin-offs for Rebel Moon already being planned. So there is a great relationship between Netflix and Snyder. Zack Snyder has also liked a post that is pushing for the SnyderVerse to be sold to Netflix, so he does approve this hashtag and he likes it. So now that he is aware of this demand, he could potentially talk to Netflix about them being licensed the SnyderVerse characters and storyline. Ray Fisher and Ray Porter have also been working with Netflix on Rebel Moon with Snyder, so there is a relationship there too. Warner Bros. Discovery are in a lot of debt, and so licensing off huge characters could really help decrease that debt, and it would allow characters that wouldn't be used by DC to be used on Netflix. So they would be making money from characters they planned on never using again. It really makes a lot of sense when you think about it. If DC aren't going to use those versions of the characters again, they might as well try to make some money from them instead of just abandoning them. I think it's something that David Zaslav would be very interested in. I just think the main people you have to convince is Netflix. Why should they invest hundreds of millions into purchasing the SnyderVerse and then funding those movies and series? It's a tough task, but I think we have an advantage here, that Snyder is working for them currently. You do have to think about how much these movies will cost and if the cast want to return. I think the smaller actors would, but whether or not Jason Momoa, Ben Affleck or Gal Gadot would is a difficult question. Momoa looks like he will be a part of the new DCU, but Gadot seems like she's done with the character altogether, and so does Batfleck. I think Henry Cavill would come back, as it would be his only opportunity to play Superman again. But is his relationship with Netflix a secure one anymore? There are a lot of moving factors and recasts that I think would have to happen, which would make me wonder whether or not Netflix would want to do it, and if the actors would want to do it either. Snyder will be busy with his own projects at Netflix, so adding the SnyderVerse could be a really tough task, but I think it is worth showing our demand, because you never know, it could actually happen. I still think fans shouldn't expect anything from this trend, but if you want the SnyderVerse to be restored, then I think using the hashtag and getting it trending is definitely worthwhile, because they could actually see the demand and the SnyderVerse could be restored on Netflix. There is a trending day that will happen on February 14th using the two hashtags, #SellZSJL to Netflix and #SellSnyderVerse to Netflix. So if you want to take part in that, that is the date and the hashtags to use. So, are you on board for the SnyderVerse to be restored on on Netflix? Let me know in the comments below. But that is all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. I hope to see you here again soon, so until then, have a great day. Bye!